If fear is the only thing stopping us from achieving our dreams, and we only fear what we don't understand, then the antidote to fear is knowledge. All we have to do is find out who has the knowledge that we need to conquer our fears and achieve our entrepreneurial dreams. My name is Callum Walker, and welcome to the podcast that will help you figure it out and conquer this lonely entrepreneurial journey.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the podcast. I have got some news for you. Okay, I've got news, and it's not good news. It is great news. It is great news. My microphone works again. So, fingers crossed this audio should be much better. But there we go. What fantastic news. And I've got some even better news. It's sunny. It is sunny. It is sunny. I can't believe how sunny it is. It is beautiful. And do you know what? If it wasn't 5 degrees outside, I would think that I was abroad. But unfortunately, it is 5 degrees. Anyway, we take what we can get in the United Kingdom, don't we? What's been going on and what is going to help you today? Well, a couple of things. First of all, I am off to Zimbabwe this week. Zimbabwe. I know, I've never been to Africa before. One of my best friends, he's a professional cricketer playing in a tournament over there. So I'm going out there to support. So that's super exciting. And do you know what's even more exciting? It's the first proper holiday I've been on for a while. I've definitely fallen into that trap, the entrepreneurial trap of prioritizing other things away from business and prioritizing business away from other things and not giving yourself permission to go away. I think that what's important is that you book these things, because if you book it, then you know that it's in the diary, and that automatically kind of gives you the permission to make it happen. Otherwise, I definitely find that we can almost kind of feel like, no, I have to work, because the momentum won't continue if I'm not working on the project. And I understand that school of thought. I have fallen into that school of thought. But then when we kind of take a step back, we go like, that time away gives me that vital energy. It gives me that vital perspective. And also, as entrepreneurs, we do have to see ourselves as content creators. Not just necessarily content in terms of, content for the acquisition of new clients, but also content creation for our clients. And I think that one key thing is when it comes to creating content, it really is about having things to talk about. So if you've found that you've ran out of ideas when it comes to your content, whether that's content in terms of your marketing or whether it's content in terms of new perspectives in which you can really kind of share your health and fitness lessons with your clients, the antidote to it is to have more things to actually comment on, which really is all about kind of like having new experiences. So again, if I look at the new experiences that I can think of while going to Zimbabwe, it's given me different angles to actually communicate to you guys and also communicate to my clients. First of all, as an entrepreneur, the challenge of giving yourself permission to go like, hey, go away. It's going to be good for you. You deserve it. You've put the work in, you've put the energy in, you've put the time in. You deserve it. This is what you do these things for. Go and spend some time with your friend. Again, it's about, I think the real fear that we have is loss of momentum. That, I think that that's one of the biggest fears that we have as entrepreneurs is that momentum. Because again, we go a week away, the fear can be, oh my God, my clients aren't going to be happy. Oh my God. How am I going to get new clients in during that time? That is a real fear. So being able to navigate that fear myself, is invaluable to you. And sharing the lessons that I learned during that experience is invaluable to you. So, again, first of all, that experience kind of, that I'm taking that experience gives me more valuable lessons that I can share to you guys. Then secondly, I'm going to be spending a whole day flying there because I've got to, again, I'm not being a snob here, but I had two choices. I could go with Emirates or Ethiopian Airlines, and I decided to go with Emirates. Again, why is that? I've been with Emirates so many times and I trust them. There is a lesson there, especially when it comes to the real thing. If you're struggling with sales right now, if you're struggling with new individuals coming towards you, or you're struggling with retention issues, there's one word that I really truly believe will solve that problem for you, and it is trust. It's trust. Now, if I kind of look at like my experience here going with Emirates or the Ethiopian Airlines, the Emirates flight is actually more of a pain in the ass. Not only is it £300 more expensive, but also it's at Gatwick Airport, which is an extra hour away from me, instead of going from Heathrow. And also, I have to go via Dubai. I have to go via Dubai, then I go from Dubai to Zambia, and then from Zambia I go to Zimbabwe. So that's, I think it's about 20 plus hours of travel time. Whereas the Ethiopian Airlines, I think it works out at like 14 hours, because I go to Ethiopia and then from Ethiopia I go to Zimbabwe. So why am I going to all of that trouble just to go with Emirates? Trust. I've been with them many times. Many times. For those of you who don't know, I used to live in the Middle East before Dubai was cool. Yeah, I went to school there back in 2007. 2007 was when I lived out there. We started going to Dubai back in 2001, I believe was the first time we went to Dubai. We used to go there probably about 3 or 4 times a year, before anyone kind of really went there, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, before the tats, before the teeth, all flooded there. I was there, and we always used to go with Emirates. Now, there's another reason why I'm going with Emirates. One, I trust them, but then also there's these nostalgic feelings of getting on a plane, of going with Emirates, because it reminds me of such amazing experiences. The excitement of going there, the excitement of moving there, the excitement of moving back from there to the UK. So again, the overall experience that I have had on Emirates, really, really is the reason as to why I am happily going to go out of my way, both with my time and my money, to go with Emirates. And do you know what? I'm excited to give them more money. So again, if I can really kind of pass on a huge lesson for you here, it's trust. On my last, I think it might have been the last episode, the one before, one of the episodes before anyway, I was talking about how not to do business. There was a business mentor that I spoke at an event. Couldn't trust them as far as I throw them. They could get me from A to B. Again, Ethiopian Airlines will get me to Zimbabwe. But because that trust isn't there, I'm not going to make that purchase. Yes, that business mentor could be very, very good at what they do, and they could grow my business for me. But I don't trust them at all. So I have absolutely no interest in engaging in their services. So I think really, one lesson I really want to pass on to you is, whether it's with your marketing, whether it's with sales, whether it's with your clients, what are you doing today to build trust with your audience? What are you doing today to build trust with your clientele? Because it's so powerful. And do you know what? I truly believe the only way that you can build trust is by being trustworthy. Over-delivering on what you say you can do. There's an amazing saying that's always kind of stuck with me, and it's interesting because I was having this conversation with my best friend Al the other day. So my best friend, he just brought in over £500,000 worth of business into the company that he works for, and we were having this little conversation, and he was like, I just don't understand. Like they would normally give a bonus, but they're not giving a bonus. And he was, I could sense his frustration, and I could understand his frustration, because I would also feel that frustration if I was in that situation as well, because he was paid for himself at minimum. Do you know what I mean? And I said to him, look, Al, I understand, and this is going to be really easy, but one of my favourite quotes and sayings has always been from Napoleon Hill, no surprise, which is, if you are willing to do more than you are paid for, then you will eventually be paid for more than you do. So if you are willing to do more than you are paid for, you will eventually be paid for more than you do. So I think within the coaching industry, there's been a real urge towards, I'm just going to give my clients what they pay for, which I do understand, but I just think that you are so better off over delivering on the promise, because it is a win-win situation for you. If you over deliver on the promise, you're not going to have any headaches of clients not being happy. You're not going to have any headaches in terms of that nagging feeling of, oh, am I doing good enough? Am I enough? Oh, I feel like I'm swooning these people. You're not going to have that feeling. That doesn't weigh you down. You also, your likelihood of referral, or even from a retention point of view, your likelihood of retention and referral is just going to go through the roof. So again, here's a question for you today. What are you doing to over deliver on your service today? What are you doing to over deliver on the promise? Because I promise you, if you can do that, it just solves a lot of headaches for you. And also, more importantly, it develops that trust. So yes, I'm going with Emirates over Ethiopian Airlines. And then also I have to I've got lessons in terms of navigating and dealing with 20 plus hours of travel. There's going to be some sleep deprivation there. There's going to be some challenging things. Fortunately, I've got a few, tricks up my sleeve to help from a sleep perspective while I'm away. I've got my cherry juice. I've got my magnesium supplements. I got everything with me. So again, I have useful experiences to share with you guys. So again, if you find that your content is going stale, you don't know what to talk about, there are lessons in your experience that you need to share. But if you're doing what, I definitely can fall into the trap of experiencing the same thing over and over again, then you're not going to have anything to comment on, are you? Because, what do I say? Oh, I did the same thing as I did yesterday, today. That's not overly interesting. So again, what we need to do to freshen up our ideas, we need to freshen up our experiences. So another question for you. What can you do today to begin giving yourself fresher experiences to be able to comment on? And then no doubt when I get there, there's going to be a ton of things to comment on. It's funny because Henry, I call him H, H has messaged me. It was like, just so you know, we've got to be a little bit careful. And I'm like, I'm aware of that. Don't worry. And he goes, no. Not just careful in terms of the safety. It's pretty safe now. But what we need to be careful of is we're going to Victoria Falls. And in the around there, in the town where we'll be walking around, there's lions and cheetahs that just walk around, and I'm like, okay, right, that is something that I am not prepared for. But anyway, I actually, I did run the 100 meters at school quite quickly, so I understand that a cheetah, is fast. Very fast, but then also cheetahs may be really, really fast, but they run out of steam very quickly. So again, I'm very, very good when it comes to endurance, so I'll be able to outrun the cheetah. Oh my god. So yeah, there we go. So again, if I just summarize a couple of lessons there, there's multiple lessons within that. Trust. What are you doing today to build trust? Are you trustworthy? If you're not, why not? And when you identify what areas you feel you are not trustworthy in, and that's not trustworthy in terms of your character, in terms of your service. I've definitely gone through periods where I've gone, do you know what? I don't think my service is good enough. And that's valuable feedback, because I know, I go, okay, right, what are the areas causing me anxiety? What are the areas that I feel have holes in? And then how can I fill those gaps? How can I, rid myself of those anxieties? And I rid myself of those anxieties by coming up with better solutions. So, we spoke about this in the Elite Coach, actually, something called an anxieties list. So within your program, in terms of all of the things that your offer contains, all of the ways in which you coach your clients, what are the things that cause you anxiety? Write them out. and then specifically, write out like what is it that causes you the anxiety? How do you want it to look? And what is a credible solution that you can come up with to overcome that anxiety? And that's helped me immensely in terms of plugging the holes within my program. So there we have it. There we have it. Back to the short and sweet ones. Nice and sharp, short. And yeah, I'm really excited for it. And especially, do you know what? This sunshine coming out today has really kind of like brought out some excitement for me, because it's almost kind of like that hazy blue sky, which you normally get when you are abroad, which we don't really get here. So yes, that's got me really excited. I'm excited to see my friend. I'm excited to take a little bit of time out of the business, get a new perspective on things, come up with some fresh ideas. And also, do you know the other thing? I'm really excited to go to the world's largest waterfall, which is Victoria Falls, and realise how insignificant I am. Genuinely. To see animals to see real nature in its truest form. Like, I do feel that in the UK, in the Western world, we don't have nature in its truest form at all. Yes, okay, we can go out into woods and everything, which is lovely, but, I feel we have to go fully into, almost kind of into the wild, whether it's almost coming right to the north of Scotland, going into like, into Snowdonia, or, to just real kind of areas of natural beauty. And you come back to that word there, natural beauty. Man hasn't had any form of kind of like, we put our fingers all over it. So I'm really excited to experience that. So yeah, there we go. Never forget, if every one of your clients gave you just one new client, you've doubled your business.